Welcome in. This is Mr. Fazulio for World Geography. Hopefully, everybody is doing okay, safe. Um, this is World Geography, and this is our virtual open house. Obviously, we're doing everything a little bit differently than we normally would. So, I'm going to try to take 8 to 10 minutes here or so. If you were in the classroom on that open house night, to sort of walk you through, get to know me a little bit. I did post on Google Classroom for the students some more in-depth background on me and expectations in the class, different PowerPoint that you can look through and gather some information on. Really, try to walk you through here just to give you some more background to me. This is my 25th year teaching in the district. So I came in the district in 1995-96 school year, substituted in our tech arts department, which was like auto maintenance and power mechanics. And I'm a social studies guy, so it fit the bill really well. I did that for a year, and then eventually went over to Granger for 2 years as a social studies teacher, which I'm certified in, and taught seventh grade there for 2 years, and then was able to come back here and get into the social studies department. And I've been here for 23 years ever since. The classes that I've taught over the years and teaching this year, government, American history, and of course, world geography. So I have 3 different classes. So I get a wide spectrum of freshman to senior. I was the former head baseball coach here at Waubonsie from 2000 to 2014. As you can see there was one of my more calmer moments. I am actually pretty calm, but that call didn't go our way that day. So you could see I was a little hot under the collar, I guess. The other picture you see there is with my wife and my son Logan, or our son Logan, who's in first grade, and he's doing remote learning, which is, as we know, a challenge for all of us, and we're all trying to pull together as best we can to make this work. And hopefully we'll be back in person sooner than later, as projected. But yes, that makes up our family. And my wife and I just celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary this past summer, over July 4th. We were able to do our normal vacation. We go to the beach in Atlanta, to the Atlantic Ocean in Delaware, which is a family vacation. My wife's from the East Coast, and the beach is a very, very important thing. So anyway, that's a little bit more about me. And but moving forward to what they're going to be doing, just to give you some idea. This is a course for graduation, so they complete the whole year. They're one step towards graduation in a couple of years. Just one thing to know, that with geography, I really love our curriculum. It's basically, they'll not only know a little bit about our governmental system, they'll get that later when they take U.S. history and government, but the other piece is that they'll understand other governmental systems, within the world. And so that's important. And does democracy really work across the world? Is it something are there other forms of government which we know are out there? So we'll dive into more of those, like when we look at China and we look at Russia and we look at other places, India. We look at how they run their forms of government. And there's multiple perspectives that we're going to be looking into, guys. So I think it does a really nice job of fanning out and giving them the ideas and of how our world really works in many different perspectives. And can they see the issues that are out there and then judge for themselves and try to connect not only what's the United States role in it and what's the role of other countries. So that's sort of the goal for it. And, for me, it is, what are they getting out of it? What connections are they making? That can say, oh, this is going on in China. Oh, I get it. It's in the news. I can connect it. I see our history behind it. Or with North Korea, or, those types of places in the world. Right now, here's our semester units, guys, and we're sort of looking at culture, demographics, and us, the United States, and where do we fall into that? That's sort of our intro unit. So we're really getting to try to know the kids. We do a really cool Meet My Culture project that they'll be working on this week, which I get to learn a little bit more about their backgrounds, and they get to learn more about my background. And then that's it's a lot of basic terms that we'll be using throughout the whole school year. So that really sets up that. And then we get into, as I just mentioned, we get into Russia, what's our relationship with Russia? What's their form of government? How they change from communism into, of course, we look sort of at the history of it and how they're handling things now. And then, of course, China. We know China's a major player out there that we have to deal with from a foreign policy perspective. And then, of course, India. What's the impact of India and India's history also? So we look at a lot of the political, economic, and social, tie it back to their history and see how they're doing and what they're doing now. And then second semester, 3 big units: Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Nigeria, meaning looking at the continent of Africa. So there's really 3 major big units. Saudi Arabia in the Middle East is also hot in the news, with Iran and everything else. So there's a lot of timely things that are out there that we always could tie into the classroom to help connect the kids and then sort of place, okay, what's our role and what's their history, what's their past, and how are they handling things now. So first semester, real challenge. I know hopefully get back in person sooner than later, as I said earlier, and we could sort of get to those, those a little bit deeper in certain things than Zoom and independent work days. Expectations basically for late work and stuff. They typically, if assignment is late within a unit, you could get half credit for it. But usually if we're deep in the semester and they haven't turned work in from this first unit, it's very, very tough for me to work with them. It's best to communicate with me. I know students are like, hey, I couldn't get the homework done. We had this, and this going on, meaning at home, and I get it, or family situation. And so I get those things, but you need to communicate with me. So that's one thing I'll stress, depending on the late work policy. But if it's flat out late, it's flat out late. And that does happen with students. But at least I get some credit for it in completion. Performance assessment. Within each unit, we do different types of performance assessments. Like the Meet My Culture might be a performance assessment that they're going to be working on presentation this week for the following week. And that's something maybe would be a performance assessment, which is weighted a little bit more in our grade book. And they always have the opportunity to redo that and try to gain some more points to that. But they got to get it done before the end of the unit if they want me to reassess and look at a project that they did that we deemed a performance assessment. So that sort of breaks down to our grades. As you can see here, our grading policy, 60% of those performance assessments are, a good chunk of their grade. So at the end of the unit, if we're doing some type of summative assessment, it might not be multiple choice, but it could be short essay, those types of things. That's going to go into the 60% category. Might be worth 20, 25 points, but it's an assessment. It's going to be worth over 60% overall of their grade. Or the Meet My Culture project. Or we do what we call Socratic seminars. And since we're getting adapted to Zoom, we might be doing something with that soon in the next couple of weeks. That all falls within performance assessment. Regular classwork and stuff like that is basic, it could be worksheets, it could be answering questions from an article. And I will distinguish to the kids like, hey, this is a homework assignment, answer these questions, get it done, turn it in Google Classroom. Final exam, we're working on really with the other geography teachers, really cool. They're going to be working on throughout the semester, really a 5-paragraph type essay as they're building and working as we go through the semester, even remotely or when we get back in person. And that's sort of going to probably play as their final exam. It's going to be worth 10%, meaning that 5-paragraph essay that we're trying to piece together. And we're going to work with them as that goes. And then engagement. This is one thing that our department wants to look at to let you guys know. Maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, I might post a grade in the grade book saying, a 3, I might say 3, always working, always doing very, very well. 2 often, 1 seldom, and 0 never. And that sort of gives you a heads up saying, well, I thought, my son or daughter was getting all the work done, but Mr. Fazzulio is putting in the grade book as 0, and they're really not being engaged. So that sort of gives you a heads up also there too. So that's sort of our breakdown, 60, 30, 10, which obviously makes 100% for their grade. The other thing on contacting me, I stress to the kids, contact me through regular school email that you see right there. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me and me to get back to you. The teacher view or the student view is being sort of, it's tougher for me as a teacher to get into right away and access if I'm not here at school and then trying to communicate back with you. If you contact me through regular email, school email, that is so much easier for me to get back to you in a timely manner when you want me to answer a question that you might have. I told the kids that too. They can post stuff on Google Classroom and ask a comment, but really send an actual email to me is easier to respond back and get back in a more timely manner. Like, during the school day hours, if you email me early, I probably will most likely get back to you, pretty much right away when I get a free period or later in the day. After 4 o'clock on, it's sort of like, hit or miss. I might not get back to you right away. I know we all have stuff going on, families and so on and so forth. So that might be a little bit tougher for me to get back to you. But if you try to get a hold of me within the school day, I'm pretty good about getting back to you in a timely manner. So some things to think about, but school email is the way to go. Other than that, thank you for listening. For them being freshmen coming in, I know it's a challenge and different, but we're doing what we can. I think we're all in this one together, pulling on the same rope. So hopefully, we'll be back here in person and really get rocking and rolling. So far off to a good start. Thank you for listening, and continue to stay safe out there.